This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. While we're back here with Will, A Wonderful World. In the last episode, we finally figured out how to solve the Chang and Kang little story there, but it caused some situations to occur. Chang had another thing, but now the timeline is a little bit more fuller now. Let's go with Spottie and Chang and see what their story's telling. The Feline King and the Standoff. It was the middle of the night. The full moon was high up in the sky. A group of cats were gathered at the empty lot near the street. They were both house cats and stray cats. They formed a circle around a big empty pipe in the center of the lot. On top of the pipe sat a fat black cat. He was giving his usual speech. It was unusually and surprisingly about how humans like pet dogs and what we should do to make the humans like us more. Those two-legged walking monkeys only considered dogs to be smarter than cats because the dogs would fetch newspapers for them. But the truth was the opposite. Why should we bother to beg for the stupid humans who couldn't even tell that cats were smarter than dogs to like us? I turned the dead sparrow in front of me around, making sure that there was nothing edible left. No matter how many times I had tried it, the taste of the organs was still disgusting to me. Yuck. I puked out a puddle of yellow liquid. A couple of house cats nearby sprinted away from me. Pussies. Blackie, the fat black cat, kept rambling on about his boring and pointless speech. I was picking my teeth with my claws. Suddenly I felt a chill in the air. It was already late autumn. Soon would be the worst season for us stray cats. I was 1 year old now, almost 20 in human years, so I was fairly strong. Still lots of homeless cats had died at my age. Instead of wasting any of my time figuring out how to please those monkeys, I'd rather be preparing for the winter. Just like all hibernating creatures, that pipe seemed like a good place to use as a shelter. I walked towards Blackie and jumped up to the pipe. Every shining eye stared at me, including Blackie's. He completely forgot what he was talking about. Excuse me, may I lay down here for a bit? You may keep going. You thought I would say that? The winner takes all, the loser loses it all. And I, Spottie, wanted it all. I stared at Blackie and puffed up my fur. That's right, overwhelming my opponent was the way I do it. He raised a dried salted fish. I spat on his face. Blackie was surprised by my spit, but he immediately swung the salted fish and hit my face with it. I challenge you to a duel! This enormous piece of dried salted fish represented unquestionable authority. Whoever had the dried salted fish was the leader of the cats. Furthermore, why do I expect, like, Mephistopheles' song to pop up during this cat's thing? You know, mystical, magical, wonderful, fantastical, Mr. Mephistopheles! Oh, well, there never was there ever. Anyway. Furthermore, whoever was attacked by the dried salted fish, which right now meant me, would be considering the public enemy of the entire cat clan. A dozen cats sprung at me, biting my ears, clawing my paws, stepping on my back. Humans had a saying, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. I was facing 40 claws. Ouch, 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 ouchie. Spottie. So that's his big thing, is he just insulted this cat leader and got wrecked for it. Okay, anyway. The warehouse now looked like a scene from hell, with bodies lying all over the ground. Lieutenant Kang's eyes were colder than ice. He was cold as ice. No need to sacrifice my love. I've heard it before, many times before. He looked nothing like himself anymore. He turned around slowly and stared at me if I was only a bug. Huh. What had just happened? Was he pulling a prank on me? But he looked entirely serious when he killed Cho Yo-han with 1 blow. 7 in 1 blow. Or rather, was that some kind of initiation test? A test I had to pass to become an official member of Unit 4? My brain was still completely disoriented when a body jumped backwards by instinct. There was nothing left in the lieutenant's stare, except deadly menace. It was no prank, nor test. I could feel that what was standing in front of me at this moment was not a normal human, but a dangerous beast. He was waiting for me to expose my vulnerability so he could lunge at me and tear out my throat, just like Patrick Swayze does in that one guy in Roadhouse. Roadhouse. We were both standing dead still. We were both staring deep into each other's eyes. Now kiss him, you fool. We were both thinking of the best way to prevail. I didn't have enough confidence. Even at the Shaolin Temple, I had never faced an opponent like this before. The temple is located in the hidden province of China. Oh, this probably wasn't No, never mind. I'll say it afterwards. Its name refers to the forest Lin of Shaoshan Mountains, one of the 7 peaks of the Song Mountains. It was first built during the Northern Wei Dynasty in 495 AD, almost 1500 years ago. It is considered a sacred temple by many Chinese Buddhism believers. During the Cultural Revolution, the temple suffered severe damage and loss. The monks were forcibly evacuated and numerous statues were destroyed. Afterwards, the temple went under reconstruction and renovation. In the 1980s, the Chinese movie Shaolin Temple, starring Jet Li, brought the temple back into the mind of the population, which the Chinese government probably wasn't a fan of, ushering in a new era of international fame. Nowadays, the Shaolin Temple had become one of the most popular tourism spots in China. The discipline of the temple, or maybe that's Tibet I'm thinking of, that the Chinese have an issue with, or at least the Chinese government has an issue with. While dedicating their lives to Buddhism, also worked tirelessly introducing the Chinese traditional martial arts to the world. Disciplines graduate from the Shaolin School could receive dual diplomas in both academics and martial arts at multiple levels, such as middle school, high school, and even college. Nevertheless, I began to feel something, perhaps because of my training at the temple. I was feeling nothing but growing excitement. I was eager to give it my all at this fight. It was almost as if I had been waiting for this day my whole life. Yep, well, like most fighters or anime, they're always like, I gotta test myself. It would not do me any good if we kept stalling with this. I decided to at least poke my opponent first. In the world of Kung Fu, speed defines the winner. In the world of Kung Fu, moves can be countered, but speed defines the winner. There's a saying in Kung Fu that means no matter how strong a move there is, there's always a counter move to neutralize it. However, only speed, was counter moves going to make an appearance. You have one choice, hot shot. What you gonna do? You can make sure you'll not be defeated. There are 2 layers here. 1, think so fast that you could come up with a strategy before your opponent. 2, move so fast you could outpace your opponent as well. In Louis Cha's wuxia novel, Power is typically emphasized in battle, with the exception of the smiling, proud wanderer, which emphasizes speed instead. 2 main characters in this novel, Ling Cho and Dong Feng Bubai, represent the 2 layers of the meaning behind above respectively. Respectively? Oh, respectively, yeah. The line also appeared in the Stephen Chow movie, Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Blitz. Kung Fu Blitz. I think that's the movie I'm thinking of. In the real world, speed also has very practical applications. For instance, Mom, no more money for you. Wait, what? I don't even know. Anyway, time to fight. Time to Kung Fu fight. He raised the gun. Oh, it's like, oh, whoops. I flung my tail at it as hard as I could. Okay, he's a furry now. No, I'm just kidding. I took a shot and flung my tail out from my sleeve. The spearhead cut through the air with a shimmer aimed at Lieutenant Kang's right hand, which was holding his gun. But it stopped right before the lieutenant. Lieutenant Kang's left hand clenched into a fist, and he slowly lowered it. He was holding my tail firmly in his hands. Despite having been cut by the spear tip, blood was dripping down from his wrist. Oh, he's gonna die from wrist cut. Behind his fist, his eyes were staring at me with nothing but contempt. No one had been able to stop my tail with their bare hands before. I'm fucked. No. At this point, I had no choice but to drop my weapon. But Lieutenant Kang had finally seen his chance. He sprinted at me, still holding my tail in his left hand and the gun in his right. Then I heard a gunshot before I sank into infinite darkness, feeling nothing but regret. A few weeks later, I woke up in the ICU of Busan Metropolitan Hospital. I was incredibly lucky to survive the shot to my head. As crazy as that sounds, it is possible to survive a headshot. I think I talked about this in another game before. Anyway, however, the bullet was lodged inside my skull in a delicate spot, so the doctors could not take it out. As a result, I had to endure occasional migraines for the rest of my life. Ugh. I already have migraines and headaches regularly in my life. I would not want to have it on a constant basis that you never get rid of it. With my health condition, I thought I would be reassigned to some boring post like the archives, but I didn't expect they would ask me to resign. The police paid me a lot of money as compensation, but that was not what I wanted. I wanted to be a police officer. How could everything turn out like this? Chang Gyeong-Min. Huh. I mean, even in his bad ending, he still survived, sort of. But all right, let's see how we can get the King of Cats and the detective their best endings. Huh. A piece of dried fish and a gun. I think I've come up with something funny here, but I can really just switch them like this? How could a cat be holding a gun? Okay, that is kind of funny when you think about it. Of course, that's what our power is. No matter what, even events will fold exactly according to your arrangement of the text. Even if it's something ridiculous or even supernatural, it's still within the realm of reasonability for us. That's how we were able to help Jimmy's class win the relay race. Oh yeah. All we do... That's right, I forgot that was... all we did was switch Jimmy from the last lane to the third lane, remember? As long as the internal logic of the story is not self-contradictory, there won't be any problems. In that case, What kind of logic should we consider self-contradictory? For example, earlier we discussed that after someone fainted or even died, he or she wouldn't be able to perform additional actions. Therefore, any additional actions after a piece where the subject passes out or worse would automatically disappear. Okay, I think I've got it. This one's a weird one. I mean, it's a dangerous situation for both of them. It's still silly just because of the whole swapping the gun and the fish out. So, all right, let me look at their. Okay, let me set the bad ones up. Get that out of the way. All right. Ooh, he's got 8. How many did the cat have? 6. So of course the dude has the most different ones. Okay. Anyway, one more time to check. Okay. Okay. How do we want to do this? All right. Let's see what happens when the and of course the tail on a cat. I was thinking, was like, let's move some stuff around. The tail on the cat's gonna be. I assume they both can't be in the same. Yeah, it has to be one or the other. Okay. Okay, let's do. I guess. Yeah, that should work. Let's see what we get there. My spit flew into his eyes, temporarily blinding him. I thought I had the upper hand, but Lieutenant Kang swiftly held up his right hand in my direction, based on nothing but his hearing. He fired multiple shots in less than a second. No matter how good I was, I couldn't dodge the barrage of bullets. Yeah, I lost, and thus he died. I slammed my tail on the pipe. Bang! It was my battle cry. To his credit, Blackie was indeed an experienced alpha. He only hesitated for an instant, then swung his dead, dried salted fish and hit my face with it. This enormous piece of dried salted fish represented unquestionable authority. Whoever the dried saltfish with the lead of the cats. Okay, this is gonna be. This is the same. Climb my paws, step on my back. Yep. Facing 40 claws. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Alright. So that's his bad. Oh, that's his rank E ending? For what? For spitting his face and getting shot? Huh. Anyway. Okay. So. Let's try that again. Alright. See. Alright, let's get. Oh, that's gonna be funny with the dried salted fish. Is like, haha! Huh? How did that happen? Oh, that's gonna be funny. A dried salted fish flew out of my right hand, charging towards me like a flash of light. Or, wait, right? Oh, out of his right hand. So it came out of Kang's hand? What? Wait! A salted fish? I quickly moved aside and dodged it. Well, now that you missed your chance, it is my turn. Huh? I suddenly realized that my right hand was tangled up. I looked back and saw that something had pinned the ribbon of my tail to the wall. It was the dried salted fish I had just dodged. Wow, that's I don't know if that's stupid or epic. He had done it on purpose. Well, to be able to pin my ribbon with just a dried salted fish, what amazing power and accuracy he had. I hesitated for a split second. I had exposed myself. Gross. Before I could turn back again, a shadow had fallen over me. Then I felt a heavy punch. I lost. Well, sad days. Blackie was surprised by my spit. He then aimed a gun at me and pulled the trigger. I couldn't help myself, viewers. Pulled the trigger. Wait, why do you have a gun? Bang! An enormous sound echoed across the lot. A few windows in the nearby neighborhood lit up. All the cats were scared shitless. They were all paralyzed where they stood, and the lot was suddenly filled with fishy smell of urine. I left the lot and felt my own ears, realizing that one of them had a hole in it. I thought to myself, perhaps I should go and get a gun too. Okay, that's gotta be the silliest thing I've ever heard. That was his rank A, huh? That the dried salted fish was... Okay, then. That's funny. This game is... it's kind of weird how this game can be so serious and yet somehow have a goofy scene like this. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Okay, so... let's do... I wonder if we can do the same thing kind of on his side. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Swap that a bit, see what combo we get this time. My spit flew in his eye, temporarily blinding him. Okay. Based on his hearing. Surprise attack. Okay. I had flung my tail towards him, hoping that I could land a surprise attack, but it was stopped by his bare hand, which is holding the spearhead firmly in front of him. No one had been able to stop my tail with bare hands before. At this point, I had no choice but to drop my weapon. Oh, Gun is right. Then I heard a gunshot before sinking in infinite darkness, filled with nothing but regret. Okay. This enormous piece of dried salted fish represented unquestionable authority. Whoever had the dried... Okay. So what? I kept staring at Blackie, trying to scare him off. He was staring right back at me. The sun had come out. All the spectating cats had fallen asleep a long time ago. But Blackie was still staring at me. His eyes were wide open. He had tired black bags around them. How could I tell they had black bags around his eyes? I just couldn't. Shut up! Shut up! Finally, I gave up. I couldn't hold it any longer. I needed to pee. This is big. This is a big country. I'm sure I could find another empty pipe. Empty big pipe. An emptier, bigger, and better pipe, no less. Meow. Okay. He has the silliest stories, it seems like, overall. Oh, we got his super bad ending, too. Okay, cool. So for the other dude, we just have the letters to get at this point. Okay. Okay. Let's try swapping out those two and see what that gets us. Blinded him with the other hand. Swiftly help his hand. Surprise tag. But it was stopped by his bare hand. Okay, anyway. Drop the weapon. He raised the fish, holding my tail in left hand as dried solid fish in his right. He raised the fish up high into the air and slapped it down my face as if it was a hammer. After a loud and crisp slap, I fell to the ground with a fish-shaped mark on my face, and my consciousness began to drift away. I lost. With getting slapped again. A gun. Although I had no idea where Blackie even got a gun from. I didn't believe he had the guts to pull the trigger. How? They don't even have thumbs. He kept staring at Blackie. I kept staring at Blackie, trying to scare him off. He was staring right back at me. Dot 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 dot. The sun had come out. Out of all the spectating cat. Okay, this is the same. Okay, tell. Shut up. And I finally gave up. Couldn't hold it anymore. I needed to pee. Let's find another big empty pipe. So really, one of the differences is that he just the gun instead. So, oh, that's a B rank for that. What am I missing? So I'm missing SCD on him, and on the cat I'm just missing his S rank. It's probably based off the. At this point, it's probably based off what order they're all in. Okay, so on my tail. Okay, and then we've done. I wonder if maybe just would that affect anything? Okay, like I said, it's all based on things, so that'll get the cat's last thing, and then I just have to figure out the other dude's thing. I slammed my tail on the pipe. Bang! It was my battle cry. Blackie was in shock. This was probably the first time any cat had ever challenged him. He nervously pulled the trigger. Meow. Wait, why do you have a gun? Bang! An enormous sound echoed across the lot. A few windows. Okay, that's the same. Blackie. Top of the pipe. Including back, and only I was only sitting on top of the pipe in the empty lot, and my urine was dripping down from the pipe. He pissed himself. In any case, this was my territory. Meow. I'm surprised it didn't say meow instead of meow. Blinded him. I thought of the hand. Took a swing at me. So a lot of these are going to be try flashlight. Wait, solid fish. Why do you have solid fish? Just dried solid fish. Now that you missed your chance. Okay, so his thing isn't caught, so I stomped on the ground and sprinted forward. I tightened my back muscle, rotated my shoulder, then swung my arm with my shoulder. Finally punched him with my fist. With my fist! Attack 3! Thunderbolt punch! Okay. What? How old are you, 10? I hit Lieutenant Kang straight in the chest. He flew backwards, slammed into a pillar. Finally, I could tell that he would be dreaming about Buddha for a while. I wiped the sweat off my face and let out a big long breath. I had avoided hitting the lieutenant's critical spots with the punch earlier, so he knew he should be okay. What kind of person was he? I never realized I had witnessed not one, but two masters in the Busan police precinct today, the custodian from the army and the Lieutenant Kang. How interesting! I suppose wouldn't be too bad staying in Unit 4 then. I would love to spar with the 10 in the future. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, that's the rank S's. Well, it sounded like a rank S now that I think about it, so. Alright, now I just have to figure out how to get the other two ones on him, so let's see. Okay, so let me think. What do we got? We got all his. Really, I'm only missing the C and D, so that shouldn't take me a hot minute to figure out. Let's see. What have I... I don't think I've done this one yet. Okay, good. Took a shot, flung a tail. Maybe looking at its right side, but stopped. He slowly lowered it, hurting the tail. Okay. His eyes were what nothing but contempt. We've seen this before. Sprint toward me. Tail, died, tilted fish. It's the same. It looks like it's the same thing, just slightly different. Yeah, it's only slightly different dialogue. Okay. And then that. I think that should give me the last one. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, I know what I haven't done yet. I bet I haven't even done it where it's by itself. Whoops. I don't think I remember doing that yet. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hadn't done the most obvious one first. Before I could even make a move, Lieutenant Kang seemed to read my mind and moved 2 steps back. In a split second, I'd been placed at a disadvantage. With the distance between us and my body still in its current position, his firearm absolutely gave him the upper hand. Just as I thought, Lieutenant Kang raised the gun in his right hand. He pulled the trigger and the bullet flew out of the barrel with a puff of smoke. But it was not that easy. But I was not that easy to kill. At this distance, I still had a chance to dodge the bullet. 0.03 of a second. I had only a third of a millisecond, or something like that. I flung my tail out towards the bullet trajectory while also using the force to fall back. I should have a chance to dodge the bullet this way. If I were lucky, I could even hit the bullet and change the trajectory. You know how hard that would be to do that type of thing? That's only like manga and anime. Oh, right. In the end, I did manage to dodge the shot, but the ribbon of my tail was ripped in half by the bullet. I caught the smile on Lieutenant Kang's face, and I realized he had done it on purpose. He had been able to see through my plan, predict the trajectory of the tail, and then hit the ribbon accurately. How frightening! I had no chance at all that I lost my weapon. After a second gunshot, I sank into infinite darkness, feeling nothing but regret. There's nothing I could have done. I was no match for him. Okay, that's the end of that. So, all right, that's it for all that. Okay, cool. I think it just automatically sets the S rank. Yeah, after we do that. So, ooh, new post. I have something for you, McFly. A letter. 120 cc's. So, okay, so that one's separate. I might just do that one just because it's separate. I might be able to finish it within the time limit I've got left, so let's just do that one. 100 cc's. Stat! Port of Busan, near Warehouse 23. About 40 people lying there, standing, and running. The fishermen who were up early for work had gathered around when they realized that something big had happened. The reporters who had heard some tips were huddling with them, hoping to catch any newsworthy material that could make a career. But the only 2 people who knew what happened had already left the scene. The ambulance drove as fast as it could while trying to remain steady. Lieutenant Kang was lying on a seat opposite me. He was still unconscious. The medic said he was basically asleep, and there was no need to worry. I wasn't surprised after all, and I intentionally avoided his critical spots earlier. Maybe after the nap, he'd even be more relaxed. Tired? I felt so tired. First, I had to knock out a mob of gangsters, and I had been threatened by Chow Yo-Han, and I still had to fight the lieutenant. I hadn't slept the whole night. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. Still, I had so many questions in my head that I couldn't rest at all. Yeah. Why would Lieutenant Kang attack me? How come he became so strong like another person completely? What kind of secrets had the lieutenant been hiding? Furthermore, this bald-headed, muscular man had been lying between us due to loss of blood. Furthermore, this bald-headed, muscular man who was lying between us due to loss of blood, who was he? Considering the situation with the lieutenant, I began to find this big man suspicious too. I quietly took a syringe from a tray near us and hid it, just in case one of them suddenly woke up and tried to stab me with it like a maniac. His veins. The medic mumbled something while trying to give the big man an IV. Suddenly, the ambulance took a sharp turn left, and the driver slammed on the brakes to slow down. I heard a few curses from the driver's seat. The ambulance started again, and we noticed that Neil had slashed the muscular man, that there was a deep cut in his arm. Strangely, though, there was no blood coming out of the cut at all. Transfiguration. Oops. Wait, what? Anyway. After the Cold War, there were still plenty of active undercover spies and intelligence agents in both the U.S. and Russia. Transfiguration, at the time, was the main technique adopted by spies to lose someone on their tail. Transfiguration included more than just changing looks, changing the color of their outfit, putting sand in their shoes to alter the gait are all common tricks to help enforce the disguise and fool a less experienced counterintelligence officer. In 2014, the Russian counterintelligence agency uncovered over 290 foreign spies on Russian soil. However, being exposed did not necessarily mean that one would be arraigned or arrested. Both the Russians and the Americans have similar approaches when dealing with such situations, through the exchanging of captives through diplomatic channels or simply deporting the apprehended agents. Not back in the day where spies were just straight up hung or whatever. I stared at the red-orange operating sign in the ER. I was trying to remember the documentation about transfiguration I'd seen in the police academy. Transfiguration was a skill that not only could change one's looks, but even one's figure. A transfiguration expert could wear a disguise that was good enough to fool anyone farther than 20 centimeters away. This was my first time ever witnessing it at such a close distance. It was so shockingly real. The bodysuit had different thickness in different areas. The thicker parts perfectly resembled the texture of bulging muscles. The suit was also completely skin tight once put on a person, leaving no gaps between the suit and the wearer's skin, preventing people from sensing anything unnatural by contact. So he's wearing just a big old muscle suit. It was very difficult to replicate the texture of real skin on a suit, though. Most people wore it to transfigure themselves would be exposed when people touch their skin. However, this female senior officer with a perfect body was brave enough and skilled enough to go undercover in a violent gang, all while pretending to be a shirtless meathead. Oh, it's a woman under there. Ah, that's the big thing. Okay. It simply meant that she must be a master among masters in transfiguration. Oh yeah, it's pretty impressive. The people in Unit 4 were practically superheroes. Oh, so she's part of Unit 4, huh? I took out a pack of tissues from my pocket and calmly wiped off the blood coming out of my nose. Not only was this my first time seeing someone use transfiguration, it was also my first time seeing a naked, gorgeous woman like that. Dude, you better respect her and turn away. Lieutenant Kang had told me before that Officer Yi Zhi had never attended the police academy, so she was even younger than me. Wow. More importantly, she also had a full head of shiny long straight black hair. She was essentially a goddess from my dreams. Oh wait, calm down, dude. From now on, I'd be able to spend time with a senior officer like this every day. I, Chang Gyeong-Min, could die a happy man any time now, until she woke up and found out you're staring at her naked body, dude. Someone had just come out of the operating room. It was a young nurse. She ran towards me as I was the only person in the hallway. Are you a family member of the patient? I nodded my head, shook it, and nodded again. She's lost too much blood. We need at least 120 cc's more for our transfusion, but we're running out of blood. There haven't been enough donations recently. Our blood bank doesn't have enough blood of her type in storage. We also are having a shortage of another type too. I think it is. Alright, it was type A. What is Officer Ji Yoon's blood type? Type O. What was my blood type again? I remember I had checked it before. Let me think. Yes, I was type A. Lieutenant Kang, who had been asleep since we got to the hospital, was suddenly standing behind me. Mine is type B. The nurse looked sympathetic. I'm sorry, but neither of your blood types match. I'll have to go and call another hospital. Hope it's not too late. At the beginning of the 20th century, Austrian scientist Karl Landsteiner and Czech serologist Jan Jansky discovered blood type independently. By mixing the blood of healthy people externally, they classified blood into 4 types, which are now known as A, B, O, and AB. I actually still don't know what my blood type is to this day. I've never actually asked. In the ABO system, the red blood cell in type A and B has antigens, A and B respectively. The antigens then suppress the natural existence of the corresponding antibodies in the immune system. That's why you can't just straight up just transfer blood to blood no matter what. People with type O have neither antigens, which result in the presence of lots of both antibodies A and B. Consequently, people with type O blood cannot accept blood transfusions with other blood types, as their immune system reaction would be too severe and potentially fatal. On the other hand, type O blood can be donated to people with other types of blood, hence the nickname universal donor. Yep. But yeah, I don't know what my blood type is. A few minutes after she'd hurried away, the sign went off. The doctor slowly pushed open the door of the operating room. Everything seemed to be moving in slow motion, and the door looked like it was heavy as a mountain. I'm sorry. I held my head in my hands and stared at the floor. I couldn't breathe. It was all because of my little trick. If I hadn't shot her, if only I were a better officer, she'd still be alive. Chang Gyeong-Min. So yeah, because he shot her, she lost too much blood, and she died from blood loss. So, all right. Oh, well, it's like what we got here. Okay, it was right. It was type A. Oh, and then we can magically change their blood types. Wow. Being a god is awesome. Okay, so yeah, they have to be in this order, but basically we just move their blood types around to make the code. So okay, so let's set up that. Okay, so we've already got the bad one. So let's try to I don't know how to really work my way up from... Well, we'll just figure out what works, and then we'll kind of try to work what we want out of that. Okay. I don't think it matters what, like, if it matters, like, which A is which. I would think that'd be too pedantic for that point, so... Alright, let's see what we get this. This episode might be a little bit longer, because I want to finish this before we call it an episode. The nurse looked at Lieutenant Kang. In this case, we can only take 400 cc's from you. But 400 cc's is enough. I'll draw the blood from you first and go call another hospital. Hope it won't be too late. I sat beside them. I watched as the nurse drew the blood from the lieutenant, but there's nothing else I could do. Once she was done, the nurse picked up the tray and was about to leave. Wait, take some more! Lieutenant Kang suddenly grabbed her hand. But if I do, you will... She tried to wiggle her hand out, but the lieutenant was not letting go. Just do it. It's my blood. I can decide what I want to do with it. Except nurses and doctors have a Hippocratic oath not to harm another to the point of, like, if you take too much, he might die. I completely understood the lieutenant. If it had been me, I would do the same. Not just 400 cc's. If I had 400 cc's, I'd be willing to donate all of it. The nurse put down her tray and drew another 200 cc's. The lieutenant still wanted to keep her to keep going, but she wouldn't do it, no matter what. In the end, she ran away like she was trying to escape from us. An hour later, the sign went off. The doctor walked out, saw us, and rubbed his eyes. Sorry. The operation was a success, but the patient has lost too much blood, and we are not sure when she'll wake up. In the worst-case scenario, I clenched my fist. Lieutenant Kang's breathing was getting louder and heavier, too. She might fall into a vegetative state. Oh, or that might have been him, actually. Okay. That was rank C. Okay, so... Whoops. Okay, so we got a C in it. So, let me think. Let's do this. That might work. That might get us the next step or something like that. This one's kind of interesting. So it's basically figuring out how to do blood types. I don't know. Didn't expect that. The nurse looked at me. In that case, we can only take 400 cc from you. Okay, that's kind of the same, except it's from us instead. Then I realized... I watched as the nurse hurried away, and then I realized Lieutenant Kang was gone too. Half an hour later, the sign went off. The doctor slowly pushed open the door of the operating room. Everything seemed to move in slow motion. The door looked like it was heavy as a mountain. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I held my breath. Okay, that's the sign. I can't breathe. Lieutenant Kang had just rushed back in with a few colleagues. He must have found some people with matching blood types. After hearing the doctor's words, he angrily clicked to the hospital bed in the hallway. Yes, they were too late. Okay, she dies anyway, but that's still rank C. Okay. So we got multiple rank C's. Yep. Alright, let's try... Let's see. Let's see. Let's try that. See what type of story we get. Looks like most of these are going to be similar, just, you know. CC's from you. Oh, wait. Plus the last 400 CC typo and storage. It might be enough. We'll do our best. As she drew my blood, Lieutenant Kang and I both sat on the long bench in the hallway. The air was filled with anxiety, but all we could do was wait. An hour later, the sign went off. The doctor walked out, saw us, and rubbed his eyes. The operation was a success, but the patient has lost too much blood. We're not sure she'll wake up. Worst case scenario. I clenched my fist. Lieutenant Kang's brain got... Okay. She might fall into a vegetative state. So it's always slightly different. A lot of these... that's kind of annoying how some of these are just slight variations on basically the same goddamn thing. Anyway. Okay. That should be... I think that'll work as the next one. And then I assume then we'll have the S one after that. Go to the last scene. Storage might be enough. We'll do the rest. There's full anxiety. The doctor walked out, rubbed his eyes. Success. Patient has lost too much blood. Worst case scenario. Clutch my fist. Good, great, grand. No yelling on the bus. Anything else? Nope. I don't even know what the difference between that one was. It's probably just some variation, like random difference. All right, let's do the actual way you're supposed to figure this one out. That'll be enough to enough for her to survive the day. Great, both your blood types are a match. We'll take 400 cc's from each of you, plus the last 400 cc type blood in our storage. Should be enough. I'll draw blood from both of you immediately. She gently pushed a needle into my arm. Ouch. I watched as my blood slowly filled the bag, thinking about how I was going to save her life. You've been in my unit for a while now. Never had the chance to tell you something. Lieutenant Kang, who had his blood drawn early, leaned on the long bench next to me and spoke to me. Considering what I had accomplished today, was he going to reward me or something? To tell me something? Could it be? A kiss? No. You are very good. Or no. You are very good. You're the best new recruit I've ever seen. You didn't force the lucky to have you. I just couldn't stop my imagination. He took out a cigarette and put it in his mouth. But then he must have realized he couldn't smoke here, so he took it out and put it back in his pocket. Never be late again. If you are, I'll have you transferred. Well, that's what a lovely boss you are. So we get our S rank and the lady is saved. And okay, so with that out of the way, with that out of the way, we've got more to go. So in the next episode of Will, A Wonderful World, we'll see what Alicia and Spottie have. Well, I said that many episodes ago, but now we'll see what they have in common, and maybe if I have enough time, what the new person has to do. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.